Nordstrom invited Long Gallery Harlem to present an exhibition in their flagship NYC store. And I've worked with Louis Long of Long Gallery a couple times, and so he invited me to curate the exhibition. And so when we had our conversations about what would we present in the space, we wanted something that would tie into what Nordstrom is, which is a fashion retail store, but that also spoke to the issues of today. And so it's 100 years since the Harlem Renaissance. It's a centennial. And so we wanted to definitely pay homage to that, but not in a very obvious way. And so when you think about the Renaissance and what it represented, it was challenging the representation of Black people in America through performing arts, through visual arts, literary arts, and through style. The way that they dressed during that time was a statement. And so I wanted to look at what is Black style like since then? What does it mean? What does it represent? And so the exhibition is organized across 3 different themes. Black expression, which looks at the ways we've always creatively expressed ourselves. And we're going back since the beginning of time. We're not starting with post-slavery because our narrative begins prior to that. We look at Black rebellion, the ways we use style as a way to make political statements and to challenge societal norms and oppression. And then we have Black joy, which you can see sort of behind me. These Afro wigs really sort of epitomize that. And it looks at the ways that we have always found dignity and pride and joy in how we represent ourselves. So I don't know if you can tell what these are made of, but take a wild guess. They're actually made of what I'm wearing, do-rags. Yeah, so Anthony works with do-rags. And when you think about do-rags, you know, in the 70s, they gained popularity as a way to protect our hair, but also as a way to tame it, to make it fit within Eurocentric standards of beauty, right? And then in the 90s with hip hop, it gained more mainstream popularity, but it also got the negative connotation of Black thug male energy. And then today, it's on the Met Gala red carpet with Solange Knowles and other people, so it's become more mainstream acceptable, also more commodified. But for Anthony, he takes the do-rag and creates these do-rag paintings, stretches them across the canvas, and so they become abstracted works of art. This one is probably my favorite just because of the beautiful different textures that pop out. And then I also love that the do-rag is hanging off the ends of the canvas, so it's almost like paint that's dripping. But when you see do-rags in these pops of color, it challenges you. It's like, oh wait, I didn't know they had lime green or purple do-rags, and people are drawn to those colors in a way that is different than looking at a Black do-rag as well. So this is Margaret Rose Vandrice. And so these are part of her African Diva series, where she takes commercial images of Black celebrities and she paints them. And so I don't know if you can guess who these folks are, but who's that? That's Billy Porter.
Oh, I don't know who that one is.
Shirley Bassey. Shirley Bassey. A clue, read the handwriting that the artist put in the paintings. That's Eartha Kitt. You see Santa Baby, Sissy Boom. And so with these works, she adds an African mask to them as a way to deify them and to celebrate the impact of Black celebrities in style. They don't always get credit, but they are major influences of mainstream style. So as we put the show together, there's a lot in Nordstrom to visually compete with, but we wanted some smaller, intimate works to really pull you in as a viewer. And so these are works by Elaine Rodriguez. In this work, we have different people that she has been painting since the pandemic. So she has about 115 portraits, and she takes a photograph and paints them using 3 different types of paint. She started working on this during the pandemic. Yeah, because she was like many artists who found themselves like out of work, She was furloughed, and so she needed something to do, and this was a way to do something that was uplifting as well. This collection really represents just a range of different Black style. You have the sort of very regal flamboyance of this. You have a sexy summer dress. You have this woman who's wearing Doro Oluwu, a Nigerian designer. And then you have Bun, who is a famous hat maker in Harlem, whose style echoes like the Harlem Renaissance and that sort of 1950s aesthetic. And so this is just a celebration of us and our creative expression and our styles of many different ways. I don't come from a traditional sort of pipeline. I didn't study art history in college. I actually, as a kid, didn't like museums. And when I look back at it, it was because I wasn't seeing a lot of representation of who I was in my culture. And it was when, my brother who passed away, he was a visual artist, and then my partner, Bo McCall, he's an artist. And when I started looking at their work, I said, wow, they have such great work, and I started exploring other artists. And one of the things that spoke to me was looking at art not just as a painting, but as wearable art. And so I've always loved style, always loved fashion, and it's an art to that as well. And so when I expanded my scope and definition of what art is, that got me more interested in being a curator, because I could see that there was a lot more to the art world than just a painting or a statue. There's so much more. So these are designs by Epperson. He's an artist, designer based in Harlem. He's also been on Project One Way in like some of the early seasons. And so in his work, he definitely likes to reject the tribalism of mainstream styles. So you'll see that he mixes different silhouettes, sometimes within one outfit, sort of like this sort of exaggerated form here on the silhouette. He also upcycles, so he'll take different materials and piece them together in a very refined way. And for him, the fashion is like, it's armor, it's protection. So you'll see that with this piece that almost looks like a shield, and the gauntlets on the arms here. So he sees style as a way to protect ourselves and to also give us the confidence to be who we want to be in the world.
These pieces right here, these are like women that are on the front lines, sort of like they're warriors, like they're layers and layers and layers. It's like survival, like they just put it all on, and here we are standing. We're standing strong, we're standing together. I'm designing a lot of times when I'm sewing, so I'm creating as I'm going. I mean, there's a lot of times I sketch out the whole collection and then go fabric shopping, or fabrics that I picked up prior. I said, oh great, I can use this piece. This piece is coming in perfect. Like there's a lace piece right here. It's like sort of distressed looking. It's like, it's romantic and distressed at the same time. Then like the piece that's underneath, that was like from my spring collection. So I can mix them. We're mixing everything now. The seasons are all like one season almost. So, it's from like cottons to wool gabardines to different wool, different types of wool, knits, like a boiled wool. Then there's like a cotton dress, ruffles, and the other layers of cotton, just layers of black cotton. That's how I dress, layers. It's like you put it on this way today, and you put it on that way tomorrow.
So this is Elaine Rodriguez, and this is her installation. She made everything within this work. And so this is about the Haitian Revolution. It's an homage to the ancestors, those who were enslaved, those who did and did not make it. You can see on the side here, she has a screen print of the abolitionist medallion. And you can see the way that fashion can be used to transmit history and to uplift the ancestors. When you think about art, wearable art sometimes gets left out of the conversation. And so actually in this store, there's tons of wearable art on the racks. You have so many amazing designers who create really beautiful couture pieces. And so to bring in other wearable artists, those who have not had a platform such as this yet, and those who are just as deserving, was really a wonderful thing. So one of the major themes to the show is rebellion. And one of the works that really epitomizes that are these works by Beau McCall, specifically the triple t-shirts. And so the triple t-shirts, they can be worn 6 different ways. But when you think of a t-shirt, it's a statement, it's a billboard. And so on these shirts, he has Black Lives Matter, which is about the political climate of today and the social justice movement. Then here, we want our 40 acres and a mule, which echoes the call for reparations today. What I love about these works is that they're fashionable, but they're also in your face, making very strong, bold statements about where we are at this point in society. We've always used style as a way to make a statement. It speaks for us even when we can't vocalize what we want to say as well.
People call me the Button Man. People call me Sir Buttons. People call me Count Buttons. But I am Beau McCall. In the fashion world, this part of a dress or a part of a garment is called the yoke. So I simply call them yokes. This one is yellow buttons, beige, brown thread. The color scheme is like chocolate brown, red, light blue, and yellow. So I cut away the jacket to give it a new effect. So with this new effect, you can wear these on top of t-shirts, you can wear them on top of dresses, you can wear them actually on top of a coat. These shorts I did back in 1995. So you can see they're still relevant, they're still fashionable, and they still make statements. This is about a month, about 3 weeks. So I start out with a color scheme. I separate my buttons into colors. I pick out my thread, what type of thread that I'm going to use, the color schemes of thread. I'll have a section of plastic buttons, wood buttons, leather buttons, depending on whatever the theme is. The thread plays a major part in how the buttons are going to be placed and what the end result is going to be with the contrast. With the current pandemic going on, it gave me more time to focus and more time to actually sit and focus and dedicate more hours to certain pieces. Years ago, I was working, I had other, projects that I was working on, so I could only dedicate myself to a certain amount of time. This time I could sit here for 12, 14 hours. This is a major step for me, because there was a time where Black folks weren't allowed in these type of establishments. So right now I'm grateful that I'm here and that I'm exposed to a different level and clientele of people who get a chance to find out who I am, what I'm about, what I do, where I came from. The people here are great. You come in, everybody speaks to you. It's like you're in Cheers or something. Because I'm in here a couple times a week, and every time I come in, hi, how are you, what's going on? We like the exhibition. And I'm being received very well, so I'm enjoying it.
About Nordstrom and what it represents and the major platform that this is, I think it's a great opportunity for the artist, for myself, for the gallery, to be able to have a platform like this where we can gain more visibility and more support for the artists. And one of the most important things in putting this collaboration together was that the artists were economically empowered. So we made it a point, and Nordstrom was very supportive in this, to ensure that the artists received an honorarium just for participating. And then in addition, Nordstrom gave us some generous square footage space for a pop-up shop, which presents another opportunity for the artists to generate income. And during this pandemic, there aren't a lot of creative outlets for artists to generate income because a lot of museums are closed or scaling back. And so this was really important to support them.